Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on Axis. This should be, uh, I'm going to throw out a guess and say episode 12. I haven't been keeping track, so I have no idea what episode it is. If it is episode 12, then I guess I'm a genius. Anyways, this is what we did last episode. We set up my nether portal tunnel, and my microphone had some serious issues. Apparently, plugging my microphone into a different USB port causes it to sound different. So, yeah, so anyways, I'm no longer going to use the other USB port. Hopefully all that sound issue is fixed. But anyways, we got this nether passage done in the last episode, like I said. And I didn't really talk much about this because I cut that part out because it was just so... the audio was so incredibly quiet and distant and echoey that I just decided that it wasn't worth putting it up. I did include a shot of me killing a ghast over there. That's just because it was cool, but it was just impossible to hear anything I was saying, so I was like, I'll get rid of it. So, I'm going to talk about it now. I got some stairs here and here, just to give the wall some more depth, because flat walls aren't that good. As you can see, this roof is fairly flat, and it's... I wish there was something I could do, and maybe when 1.14 comes out, I'll replace these with stairs, just so it has more texture. I'm fine with the floor. The floor looks great, and it transitions into this blue, because it's blue and white, then it's dark blue and light blue, then it's dark blue and light blue concrete, then it goes into gray and then black, and it works, and I like it. Anyways, today's episode is not going to be in the nether. Today's episode is actually going to be in my base. Well, yeah, in my base technically, I guess. So, I already crossed off nether tunnel from the to-do list. As you can see over here at the to-do list. Yeah, we got 3 things off the list already. That would be finish the main room, finish the nether tunnel, and I don't remember what the last one would be. Oh yeah, the pit. Finish this pit. Or maybe it was it was the outside pit. That's the pit. Anyways, those were the 3 things. The pit, the entry castle room, and the nether tunnel. Now, today's episode is gonna be this one. Yep, we're doing the staircase today, and I've already actually got some progress I've done off camera. So if we come over here, you'll notice a few additions. Addition 1, I now have these lamps on all the decks except for the A deck, because A deck doesn't have one. But every deck below A deck has a lamp right here telling you what floor you're on, and also right here. I've also included pillars here because for some reason I missed this. There are pillars here supporting the top of the staircase, so I've added those in on all the floors. Nothing on this deck has changed otherwise. I've added this painting, and I believe, yes, everything down below here is new. As of the last episode, this was 1 layer of water, and then beneath this was just sand, and there's a pickle like right here. So I've got this whole floor done now. This is C deck. And C deck is interesting because it breaks up the conventions of this previous floor. So you see it was 5 blocks wide, but you come down here and it's 6 blocks wide now. So I know that's probably not that entertaining to most people, but this floor is basically done. There's just a few, I don't know what to put in, because these are going to be hallways, but I'm not going to keep them to the original design. I'm going to actually put my own things through those hallways. As for these rooms, I have no idea what's going to go back here. But there is this here, which I have actually turned into a very convenient thing. So, well, first off, windows, you can look out into the ocean. That's pretty nifty. But the important part is the addition of the purser's office. Now, on the, if you didn't figure it out already, I'm sure you've probably figured it out already, but if you haven't, this build of the staircase is supposed to be a 1-to-1 scale replica of the Titanic's grand staircase. If that wasn't obvious to you, then shame on you. This was super obvious, especially considered my floors are decks and not floors. That should have been obvious. But anyways, the purser's deck on the Titanic was a place where you could come and buy tickets to events like concerts or special dinners. You could also hand in mail in the form of, what would it be called? It would be the macaroni wireless messages. So basically, the beeps and stuff. I don't really know what to call that stuff. For some reason I'm blanking so hard. But anyways, yeah, you could send in messages, and basically you get this is where you get your mail. If somebody sent mail to you while you're on the ship, it would be sent to the ship via wireless transmission. The person in the wireless room, which is way that way up at the top of the ship by the bridge, he would be listening to the radio all day and writing down messages and stuff, and he'd deliver them here through tubes. And this is supposed to be um, in this corner here, there's supposed to be a big, like, I might replace it with iron bars if I have any. No. But anyways, in that corner of the room here, there's supposed to be, like, a gigantic, like, trombone-shaped, like, tube. Basically a bunch of tubes and stuff. And messages from the wireless room would be put into this pneumatic tube, and they'd go through the walls of the ship and come out here and land in, like, a little bin. And the person working in the purser's office would take the stuff in the bin and he'd sort it into this mailbox here. So what I'm going to do, if anybody has, on the server, if anybody has any mail that they need to send me, or any blocks or payments or anything at all they need to send me, and I have a sign for this at my nether portal, you come down here to the C deck, to the purser's office, and you can just chuck it right in this chest. So let's say you came to deliver 2 clocks, just chuck it in there, we're all good to go. Then I'll come along every day and I'll check my mail. So that's how that's going to work. If you ever want to deliver anything, there you go, there's a spot for it. And it's also historically accurate, which is pretty cool. So that's C deck. This is just the way in. You don't have to really go through there, though. Oh, if you're wondering, actually, I should probably talk about this. If you're wondering how I actually made this, because it looks pretty cool. So this is a stair block. It's a dark oak stair block facing backwards, so you can open the chest. Then I've got 2 spruce slabs, 2 spruce logs, 3 oak trapdoors, and 3 spruce trapdoors. And originally, this was going to be trapdoors on both sides, so it would be super thin, but then I realized there wasn't any chest space, so I changed it. There's supposed to be a gap here on this side of the wall, and this side of the wall, and then the things in the middle, but I didn't want to do that. Yada yada, this works, I'm fine with it. Alright, moving on. Today's episode is going to be the next floor down, and maybe the last floor, because there's only 2 or 3 more floors left. We have D deck, which is the first class dining saloon, which is the biggest room in the Titanic, which is going to be a pain in the ass to build. Then the next layer down is E deck, which would be the access to the boiler rooms and stuff along Scotland Road, which is basically a corridor that ran the whole length of the ship. And then below that, although I wouldn't really call it much of a deck, below that is F deck, which is literally just access to the Turkish bath and swimming pool. So I don't know if I actually want to include the F deck or not. I might not. It just depends on how I feel. But also, we don't really have that much space left. If you come down here, this is the farthest we're down right now. I'm already at Y33. And if each floor is 4 tall technically if you count the roof. We're on C deck. There's 3 more decks. So it's 4, 8, 16. So there's 16 more blocks down. So I guess I technically would have enough space, but I still really don't know if I want to do it. Anyways, I have a mock-up build of the D-Deck dining room in my creative testing world, and instead of going blind this time, I actually want to show you guys what I've got set up, because it's pretty big, and I think I like where it's going, so just give me a sec, we'll swap right over to the other server world thingy. Alright, so we're here on the testing world. I don't know why it's blue here. What? Why is the map blue? Oh, now it's fixed. That was weird. I just noticed the mini-map was blue. Anyways, so this is my mock-up build, and the original build of the staircase is here, and I decided to build a separate one because I didn't want to have to go underground. But this is the C deck with the purser's office right here. So this will be the D deck here. You can see this is the painting of choice today. It's supposed to be a brown picture actually, but I didn't want to reuse the same one I used on B deck, so we're doing this one instead. You'll come down here, and this is the D deck first class dining saloon. And this is the biggest room on the Titanic, and technically there's another room here that's like twice as big that technically counts as the same room, and it's just divided by this divider. But things and stuff, I might not build that. Anyways, so D deck you've got a really fancy chandelier right here. I guess it's technically a candelabra because it's on the ground and not in the see. Here's the fun fact: chandelier, candelabra. There's your fun decorational facts with Scrabby. Alright, so you've got a nice big picture here at the front instead of telling you what deck you're on. This is supposed to be a picture of a siege on a castle. I don't remember what the name of the picture is, but yeah. Anyways, this is the closest approximation I could get. So, I'm thinking birch pillars here. If the server turns into 1.14 soon enough, or eventually, I'll probably replace them with the quartz pillars that are being added, because I want it to be white, but this is the best I can do for now. And I don't want to use this, because that's just too thick. So we're sticking with these for now, until something changes. Alright, so normally this room would be filled pretty much from this point all the way to the wall, and all the way around. It would be filled with chairs, and then there'd be like a little walkway here going, because this is a dining saloon, so this is where you'd go to eat. And here, these are windows directly to the outside of the ship. So this would be the outside hull of the ship. And if you looked up, you'd see the sky, and if you looked down, you'd see the water. So this is basically how wide it is, the whole ship. But I'm not doing the whole ship. I'm just doing the staircase. I'm not, like I said, I'm not planning on doing that room. I might not. Fun fact. The Olympic, which is the sister ship, had 5 of these windows, and for a very long time, people always thought that there were 5 windows on the Titanic as well. Because why would they change it? But someone named Tom Linsky, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he's the founder of Titanic Honor and Glory, which is a video game being developed. It's free right now, but it's going to cost money later because the demo's free. He was doing some in-depth research, trying to match every detail for the game. And he was examining a picture that was taken from, if I can find the right angle. I think the picture was, from an angle similar to this one. I could be wrong, but I think the picture was similar to this angle. I might put it up on the screen. But anyways, there's a picture from this angle, and you can sort of kind of see the windows, but these pillars in actuality are a lot closer together and a lot more to the right. So it would be much more hard to actually see the windows from this angle, because everything would be sort of blocking it. But if you look hard enough, there's 3 windows and not 5, and then there's a blank wall here.
So what we were looking at were the Olympic photographs of the space and the plans, and it just wasn't lining up correctly. So what we decided instead was to look at the only known photograph of the Titanic's dining room. We have a good version of this photograph thanks to our consultant, Kem Rachel, who was gracious enough to send us many, many Titanic photographs. Now, this photograph of the Titanic's dining room was taken on the morning of April 11th by Francis Brown, who was a passenger. He's a pretty famous, well-known passenger who took many photographs of the Titanic before leaving in Queenstown. Now, the photograph in question actually shows the bulkhead, but it's in the background, and there's passengers in the way. The background of the photograph is washed out by the lights coming through the windows, so the bulkhead isn't that visible. Looking at it right away, there was something up.
The way it was always expected to be is identical to what the Olympic had. It was a series of 5 arches, 4 identical ones, 2 on either side, and 1 in the middle which was larger.
I took the photo, scanned it, and put it into Paint to try to trace out what I thought I was seeing and send it to the other members of the team to get their opinions on. That there seemed to be an open space around the area where there should have been like 2 windows. There was just one gigantic arch. And which was even more curious was there was like a keystone in the middle of the arch, which meant that this was the center of the arch, where there were 2. So if there were 2 here, there was another window here. So the next step was to create concepts of this. I made one in SketchUp, Kyle made one in Photoshop, and we sent it to our consultants to get their opinion.
He discovered this, he posted his finding, and this has basically become official Titanic information now. It's official that there were 3 windows and not 5. And that's pretty cool that one guy can make such a big contribution to history, you know? It feels really nice to be able to know that. Back here, we've got This sign, which is super dark, it says D-Deck. It's not going to be this dark in the final build, by the way. I'm going to have torches because I don't want anything to spawn. This is the entrance. Like I said, this is the outside of the ship. So these would be the doors where you board first class for the first time. You'd come right through these doors, and this is what you'd see when you get here. Then we've got the elevators out the back, and the sign here. I'm definitely sure I'm missing a few signs. But all in all, I think this build looks pretty good, and I think it'll look better if I add some chairs and tables. Alright everyone, something special has happened. Last night I was just sort of on here and doing some things and whatnot, and a bunch of skeleton horses with their riders spawned underwater here. I killed all the riders, so now I just have 4 skeleton horses, all tamed so they'll never despawn. And it's pretty fun riding these guys around, I will not lie. Look at this. It's like, I've made the joke that it was a seahorse. Get it? And you can jump and they sort of just like float. Boing. It's super weird. But I also super love it. I don't think they can get through here, can they? It doesn't look like it. Oh well, that would have been cool if they could. So the reason this works, if anyone's wondering how this is working, undead mobs in 1.13 sink to the bottom of the oceans. So these horses are permanent, because they're undead horses. They're permanently stuck at the bottom of the ocean. Well, they're not stuck, I guess you could. Technically, they could just walk out of the ocean, but they're basically stuck here. So these guys are mine. They're seahorses. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I thought that was pretty cool. Anyways, I have some progress. Anyways, I've got this floor all dug out and ready to be built, as you can see. I've also gathered up all the materials, and I'd just like to say, this was a lot of quartz. Like, this was 10 stacks of quartz ore just to get these few blocks, and these are actually concrete, so ignore that. But yeah, I think I have everything. I might be short on a couple things, but I'll find out when that happens. Anyways, I want to start laying down some blocks. The floor would be first, then the walls, and then the decorations. Alright everybody, so finally after many days of deliberation, I have finished the things. I did have a test at college, so this episode might come out late. Mail, I've got 59 paper. I don't know why that's my mail, but someone gave me that for mail. I did, however, get something else, and I didn't put it in the mail, which is depressing, but oh well. I'll just come out here. It says, nice video, now take my stuff. Knife. I don't know why, but I guess that's okay. And he gave me a bunch of mending and unbreaking books. And now that I've shown this off, I'm going to have to hide this inside of my ender chest, so nobody steals it. But thank you, Knife. I don't know why you gave them to me, but I appreciate it. Anyways, down here, it is finished, and it is glorious, and there are no spaces for mobs to spawn. Well, it's not quite finished, actually. I am missing some quartz slabs here, but I can throw that in whenever. Anyways, ta-da! Look at this room, guys. Except for the door that's missing over there, ignore that. Everything else, isn't it just perfect looking? You got these nice tables and chairs, and you can't actually sit down because it's not pressure plates. But the tables are green, so I wanted to do that. So that works. There are loads of seats. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 22 tables. That's times 4. 88 seating. This room can seat 88 people. That's a lot of people. Anyways, yeah, nothing in here has really changed. Or out here at all. It's basically just this whole area is done. And it's looking fantastic, and I got that painting up there finally. It looks so good, and like I said, no mobs can spawn here because the light levels are all perfect. It's beautiful. I love it. And I got this suggestion to put a secret entrance here, so boop. I might have something in here, I might not, who knows. Anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode, guys. I want to get this out on time. I don't even know if that's going to happen at this rate. But if it does, good. If it doesn't, oh well. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's probably lengthy episode, because I looked back at how long my clips are that I record, and I've got like an hour of recording. I'm going to have to compress that down into 20 minutes. So, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.